Teenager back out to the lion's den. This is something, as Beth Karras mentioned, the jury never heard. So let's bring in some other lawyers. Adam Thompson, criminal defense attorney, radio talk show host out of Miami. Why is it that so often with trials, the jury is kind of the last to know about the big picture and the real truth?
Well, the judge has to be very careful when they're conducting a trial of this nature to make sure that evidence that may be so overwhelmingly prejudicial doesn't come in at trial. If the jury had heard that Jodi in the past had engaged in this kind of conduct in any way, shape, or form, the prejudicial effect of that information may have been so overwhelming that they might have tuned out what was really going on in this case and just made a decision based on past history. So to play it safe, the court has to weigh the prejudicial effect of the probative value, and in a situation like this, they normally would keep something like that out. If the prosecutor can prove the case and they have the goods, then they'll be able to prove this case based on the merits of this case,
I hear you,
but not based on past
Anna
action.
Young, you're a criminal defense attorney too, but it seems like sometimes the most important evidence never gets before the jury. They've got to put the pieces together, and I mean, to me, that says it all. That says it all. She stalked before.
Well, Jane, you raise a really good point, and your guest raises a really good point, too, because at the end of the day, the judge has to serve as the gatekeeper of the evidence. What evidence can come in and what evidence stays out. And the jury has to decide, based upon the evidence that's presented, she has a right to a fair trial. So, of course, what your guest is saying is absolutely correct. Does the prejudicial effect substantially outweigh the probative value? And clearly, in this case, the jury thought she was slutty, nutty, and vicious, and they convicted her beyond a reasonable doubt.
Slutty, nutty, and vicious. That's the new, we've heard the other three phrases that that she constantly, her defense team constantly referred to Travis saying, and you know which I'm talking about, Leaphole wonder, etc. But now we've got another one. What was it? Slutty, nutty, and
vicious.
Hey, Jane.
Vicious. Okay,
Jane,
go ahead.
it's Wendy. Jane, we got to stop this slut-shaming here. This is so not feminist behavior here. She can enjoy sex as much as she wants. She just can't kill anybody. Okay?
Exactly.
Amen, sister. Amen, sister. Yeah.
Excuse me.
I don't think. Wait a minute. I don't.
When she takes, okay, but she took the witness stand and described him as a sexual deviant. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying she can enjoy sex all she wants, but she can't take the witness stand and say she's a victim of domestic violence.
Jane, she does not deserve to die because she brings baggage into every relationship, and they're going to bring up, and the attorneys know, I've only played attorneys on soap operas, but the attorneys are going to bring up everything from her childhood. Obviously, she's damaged. She killed a guy. Every 29 slashes, I'm sure she was killing someone that had wronged her in her childhood, someone that had dumped her. The guy, everybody wants to be taken seriously, and the sex was a way to get people to want to be with her. But at the end of the day, strippers, porn stars, women that screw indiscriminately. She wanted to be taken to Cancun as a girlfriend, as a human being, and I don't think she deserves to die because she's nuts.
I'm not going to get into death penalty argument. I'm just going to get into what the truth is. That's what this is, and I want to bring Beth Karras back. A search for, but it's not separate and apart because it was her defense. And Amy Murphy, you're a reporter there in Phoenix. You actually interviewed this woman one-on-one. And that's the thing. Her whole persona was, I'm demure, I'm petite, I'm polite. And that goes right in hand with, I was sexually humiliated, I was taken advantage of. But didn't you also find her to be a master manipulator?
Absolutely, all of those things, Jane. And it may appear that she did enjoy many of these things, but at least one person on that jury believed that there was some culpability on the part of Travis Alexander, and that was the foreman. I spoke directly with him in a sit-down interview, and he said, you know what? He said this was a toxic relationship. It went both ways, and he did believe that obviously Travis did not deserve to die, but that there was some culpability on the part of Travis Alexander. Those were his words to me. So the defense obviously believed that at least one person on that jury might side with Jodi Arias in believing that.
Although that person did convict her of premeditated murder. Obviously,
but they also
at the same
were
time
a hung jury
on the penalty
other
phase.
side, in the sentencing.
Yes. 4 jurors who believe that, including the 4th person who believed that she at some point perhaps was mentally or abused by Travis Alexander. So it's easy to say that she's not the victim here, but with the 8-4 split, we know that at least 4 jurors thought that Travis Alexander at some point perhaps maybe mentally and or emotionally abused her.
Or maybe they just didn't have it in them to give her the death penalty. We'll be right back.